Okay. We are done. All right, it's good to be back. This is the Ask Me Anything session for November 13th, 2025. We can't seem to get the comments up and working. We're going to work on that. We're going to figure it out. But we are back up and live, and you guys can join anytime you want. Back up and live. Join anytime you want. All right, good stuff. We've already done our dad jokes. I'm going to get into the questions here, friends. The Ask Me Anything part of the Ask Me Anything session. You guys asked for this. We're going to do this once a month to make sure we kind of get to wrap up and wrap together all the questions and thoughts you guys have. And yeah, we will get after it. So wait for a few more folks to trickle in here on the session before we get going. I felt bad. We had, 20 some, 35 some, 100 some before I shut it down to try and get the comments going, and can't seem to get those things figured out. So not quite sure why, but anyhow, we got some thumbs up. We got some people joining. And once we get this sucker up to 20, we're gonna do the Ask Me Anything section. And so let me bring up the document we have here in terms of Ask Me Anything and what it is that we are looking to answer. So give me a moment, if you will. All right, here it is. So Catman asked this question, said, hey, I'm a lifelong environmentalist. I believe geothermally produced power will be the salvation of our species. Kudos. How can I position myself for the coming revolution in the energy mercado? Well, here's what I would say to you guys, right? When you want to think about the coming revolution in the energy market, it is my belief, if I could go anywhere, I'm going to show you this thing in a second. If I could go anywhere, it would be with this name. All right. Let me share this screen with you guys. It'd be with this name. It would be with TAN, right? The solar ETF. This thing bottomed out back in like March. Okay. Everything around Trump. And then boom, since then, what is this on the daily? Uptrend. Okay. Just trending like a beast, up. And then you look at this thing on the monthly, and this thing, popped up to 125, sideways drop, and now we just got above the 50 SMA on the monthly chart. We're into this here. Let me show this to you so you guys have it. We're into this, past the point of control, past the 50 SMA. And now we are in this volume valley. Well, where I'm telling you, we can get back up into here. I think solar, for the needs that we have with AI, is going to be something that can kind of keep us in the game. And so that is one environmental revolution, if you will, that I'm looking to play, and I'd be looking to play it through TAN. So my plan right here at 55.54 is create that alert above 55.40 to just buy TAN. I think that thing could double easily once we start to get more liquidity in the market. Okay, second question. Let's go with Catman again. He asks, is a break below VWAP a reason to sell? Well, Catman, I would say that depends. So here, let me show you guys this chart. All right, we'll go with VWAP. It depends what VWAP and time frame you're looking at. If you are looking at the time frame for intraday, would I say a break below it is a reason to sell? No, I wouldn't say a break below it is a reason to sell, because you might get wicked out, right? But what I would say, let's look for a second at AMD on the day. Okay, look at this. AMD drop, pop, come back down here. And you look, Catman, AMD broke below this and then popped back up and came back up, right? So AMD here from, 253 up here to 256, 257, that doesn't look too shabby. That's not bad. This was a break below it, and it wasn't necessarily a reason to sell. If we got a multiple closes below it, notice this. Here's a break, and here is 1, 2, closes below it. Now it's starting to look weak, and sure enough, sideways drop, back up, rejection of the VWAP right here, and then the serious drop here from 254 all the way down to 246. Man, that have been some nice puts on that one. So I say that because a break below it isn't a thing that gets me concerned. A break and a hold below it on an intraday, that's a 5-minute chart. When you are day trading, that's where I start to get cautious and potentially a reason to sell. Yep. All right, moving on. Matthew asked, how does Ben determine which month and amount to choose for his option play? Well, Matthew, I'm assuming that is for Iris. So let's do that together, shall we? Let's do that together. How did I choose this past one when it came to lift? Right? Let's go to the daily chart and we'll look at this and we'll go to lift. All right. So when I look at lift here, I think, gosh, since August, this has been moving in a nice uptrend. Came back down, right? Held here, previous support, right? And now just sideways, and then boom, shot back up, broke the previous high, this R1, and now coming back down to support there. So for me, when it comes to Iris, Iris is a service where we use AI to find longer-term swing trades, and as a result, I am looking longer term. So I want to look at least a month out. That's first decision. Second decision when it comes to Iris is to say, okay, number two, I should probably put my my notes up here if I'm going to answer some of these things. Let's go just new here. Ask me anything. Ask me anything. Session 12, 11, 13, 25, right? How do you choose your, okay, I should say, what energy name do you like? TAN, solar ETF. Then the question was, do you sell on a break below VWAP? No. On a hold below VWAP when I'm day trading. Okay, next question is, how do you determine, here, let me just put it up here because I can copy and paste it. Right, how do you determine which month and amount to choose for your options play? Well, right, depends on the strategy. Let's take Iris, which is AI swing trades, right? I want at least a month for a chart that just broke new highs on the daily chart. Right, it's the first thing I do. Second, I'm looking for volume. I'm looking for volume, I should say open interest, a strike price with bigger open interest. I'm looking for out of the money, which means, for those of you who don't know this, a delta of about 0.30 to 0.50, so it can appreciate. Right? And then finally, something inside the expected move of the market makers. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's take a look here at lift, right? I'm showing you this lift one. And I chose the lift March calls. So let's just look at the, here we go. Lift March calls, March 20 calls. Now notice, right? There was some serious open interest here. I hope you see this. So example is lift, right? Lift. Example. Lift was the name that Iris chose. I went out to March 20 because one, and I chose what I choose. I chose the $25 calls. Okay. Why? Well, one, gave me a lot of time. Two, big open interest. Three, right? What's the delta? Let's look at the delta here. Right, here's the delta. You see this column, right? Column is right here. There you go. And what is the delta on those? The delta, well, right now it's 0.53, so close enough. And then finally, delta near 0.5, as well as, but I remember I wanted to buy it on the pullback. And then finally, for the last one, it is out of the money. And also at the same time, inside the market maker's expected move. Inside the expected move. Now, where can you see that? Well, that's over here. Notice this is trading right now, lift at 23.80. And so here's the expected move over here. Let me show you where it's at. This is the expected move. You can see this. Expected move is $7.43. 23.80 plus 7.43, 31 bucks-ish. It's $25 inside of that. Oh yeah. And so you just have much higher odds when it's inside the expected move. Okay. All right. That's we'll leave it at there. That's how I choose what I choose for the most part. I hope that's helpful. Okay, great. Next one. Let us look here on the list. All right. Okay, we got that. Jerry asked, I'm mostly new to trading. I've got Oracle, I've got Iris. My game plan right now is to get well-versed with penny stocks on Oracle before I try options with Iris. Do you think that makes sense, or am I thinking about this wrong? No, Jerry, I think that's great. I think you want to really focus and hone in. Here is what penny stocks in Oracle is going to help you do. It's going to help you understand chart patterns. Once you understand chart patterns, you can then apply that understanding to options. So I think you're doing a great job there. Keep it up. Marty asked, how to read and make use of the TTM squeeze graph. Okay, we can do that. TTM squeeze graph. Use the TTM squeeze graph. All right, number one, it shows, number one, here's what the TTM does. TTM does this. Shows when the Keltner channels are inside the Bollinger Bands. All right, what does that mean? One, price is compressing. Two, volatility is compressing. Who cares, right? Well, that's the first thing you see is when price and volatility are compressing, what you see is, this potential setup for a big move. So let's add TTM to this chart. Let me see if I can add it. Let's go. Yeah, let's just do it. TTM. Okay, so here's a TTM on this. Now, anytime you see dots go, okay, you will know this is happening when the middle line turns from green to red. This also has what is called a histogram, which shows let's just say momentum, right? When it's red, going down below center, below zero. When yellow, moving up, but still below zero, right? When light blue, right, moving up above zero. And then when dark blue, it's moving down, going down above zero. So again, I'll just show you how that works, right? As it relates to, let's say, lift right here, okay? So notice here how price in this situation is price ran up here like this, okay? And you see momentum moving higher. And then the momentum starts to fade. Oh no. And we see the momentum fading here. Oh no. And then look, it goes below the zero line. And this goes below the zero line. So like we've just lost momentum. And what's it doing? It's just kind of chopping sideways, not doing a whole lot until finally the momentum starts to pick back up. And then we start to compress price and volatility right here until finally, let me clear this off, until finally we see price move from below the zero line, right, below, to above the zero line up here. And then once that happens, what happens? This is the compression in price and volatility. It's like a powder keg where all of a sudden you can go boom. And that's what we saw happen. Okay. It doesn't always happen because look at this. See here? No big movement. See here? No real big movement. But eventually we did get this drop. And then here, sideways drop. So it's setting up for a big move one way or another. And that's how you would use that. I like it mostly to watch for compression. I hope that's helpful. Okay, next question. Let's see. Tommy Trades asked, what are your thoughts on IREN? Come on, I like to sing it. Come on, Irene. Oh, I swear that to me. What are my thoughts on it? My thoughts are this thing has been in trend all the way since April or May. And now guess what's happening? Trend is breaking. Okay. So what are my thoughts on this? Trend is breaking. Are we in trend? No, we're in chop. Do we have momentum? No, we have chop. And so for me, I would be interested in IREN if it moved back above kind of that 72 mark. If not, notice it just broke the 50 SMA, which was significant. Okay. It's holding up its support right here as it should. But I have like the sneaking suspicion that we could be headed back down to like right here at that 38 mark. So this thing is in chop. The thing is not in there's no momentum. There's no trend. And so I'm not looking to pick up IREN anytime soon until I can start to see it kind of do something. I love to trade and trend. It doesn't have that. So I'm going to do nada. Okay. Next one. Kylan Oman says, how are you positioned into Amazon? Do you have any spider tingles of a deeper market correction here? Or do you still think this is short-term volume and a continued bull run? Kyle, great question, Kyle. So 2 questions you asked, Kyle. Number 1, Amazon. Let's answer that question. Amazon. Kyle, I trade trend. What has Amazon done wrong? Amazon, we had our earnings. We had the gap up, sideways, and where have we pulled back to? The 21 EMA. What is price supposed to do? Pull back to the 21 EMA. So it has done nothing wrong, right? Nothing at all. Not a dang thing. In fact, I like it here. I would not mind it on a pullback lower to 230. In fact, I'd be tickled pink. It'd be a gift. But it's done nothing wrong. It pulled back to the 21. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. And it's held up relatively well compared to the market itself. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it was down 2.171%. Market was down 1.71. So again, relatively, actually, it was more. But yeah, I think it's looking to probably fill that gap. I could see it come back down to the 230-ish area and then bouncing from there. In general, it had a great earnings report, and I'm still long for a good chunk of this into May. Now, your second question, Kyle, was about is this a short-term thing in the market or is there longer? All right, well, let me show you this. SPY. Where are we at? Do we have structure? Do we have trend still? Yes. Do we have momentum still? Yes. So what is happening right here? Do we have trend and momentum? Is the ribbon green? Yes. Have all the pullbacks to the 50 SMA been bought? Yes. And so, right, this was not a fun day, right? Just like October 10th wasn't a fun day. But again, what did it do? Pull back to the 34, pull back to previous support and resistance. It hasn't really done anything wrong yet. Not really. Has it, what is this right here? This is, notice what happened here. Price was going sideways. It dropped. It came back up, right? In this, notice the pattern in this ascending wedge. And then what happened in that ascending wedge? It broke out and then it came back down in this channel. It broke the channel here. It had the channel here and then it broke the channel there. So what is this? You guys tell me. Y'all are smart. This was just pure like tick, 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 tick. And now we got boop, 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 bop, bang, bop, bang, bop. What's that called? That's called chop. But we are still in trend. We still have momentum. All right. And we're only negative 0.5 from the center, line. So now we're all right. It's not done anything terrible. Now you say that, and you also look here at the QQQ. And what do we got? The QQQ, is not looking great. Okay. It's not looking terrible, but it's not looking great. We lost trend on the QQQ. We lost momentum on the QQQ technology, but are we still above the 50? Yep. Did it bounce off the 50? Yep. So it's not really done anything wrong, right? It's just not what it was, which was like, this thing was rocking in October and August into October. This is what you're accustomed to, that beautiful month, and then drop and then more. And now, we're cooling back off, but it's not done anything wrong until it breaks. Look at me. Look at here, right? This is what I want you to know. Okay. Here's what you got to know. Markets. Until we get two closes below the 50 SMA on the SPY and QQQ, it's all good. It's all good. All right. But please, by all means, keep an eye on the VIX. Okay. I don't like what it's doing, but it's not this. It's not spiking up here to October 17 levels. It's not doing this per se. It does have a cup and handle. I don't like that. Right? You guys can see this. right? Here, I don't like that. But hey, as long as we stay below 22, it's not terrible. If we get above 22, watch out below. That's all I'm saying. Okay, but notice here on the VIX, we have not been able to close above this 22 mark right here, but once. This was our only close above that since, oh Lord, I don't know. Gosh, since the tariff debacle back in March, April. If we start getting back above 22, that's when you pay attention. Okay, for the downside, for more downside. All right, let's see. I got a few more questions left. Oh, they keep coming. Let's go. And I've got 20 minutes. Okay. Alex said, I want to learn more about your macroeconomic view. Do you have any good book recommendations? How do I learn more about money supply and what moves the market? Ooh, let me drop a link for you guys. I would say if you want to, the place to start, a great place to start is two books. Let me show these to you guys. Show you on the screen. Here's a good book. By Amazon. I would recommend if you guys want to read a really good book on money and macroeconomics. This is called Layered Money. Layered Money. It just talks to you about kind of why Bitcoin was created, how what money is, how it works. It's going to talk about Bitcoin, central banks, digital currencies. Very, very good book. Pretty short, 180 pages. I liked it. And then another one, which is a banger of a book. This is really good. Everyone should read this book. The Creature from Jekyll Island. All right. Where does money come from? What is that? All right. Yeah. Creature from Jekyll Island. A second look at the Federal Reserve, right? Where does money come from? Where does it go? Who makes it? The money magician secrets are revealed. And this looks at kind of how the Fed was created and how money is created. And very, very good. Very, very good. So those are two books I would recommend highly. If you haven't read them, get out there, read them. But Layered Money is like 108 pages, 180 pages. This is like 600 pages. It's a long read, but it is good. It is good, right? It's a good one. And notice it was January 2010. What was happening then? Global financial crisis. So heads up. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the questions. Guardian from Discord. I have a cash account on Thinkorswim, having trouble setting up an options call with a profit loss. I'm not sure what that means. An options call with a profit loss. Can you possibly go over that? Guardian, if you're still watching, refine your question in Discord because I'm not sure what that means. Rabid Scallion on Discord. Using AMD as an example from a few weeks ago, you laid out a plan with support at 260 and risk levels at 259, 252, 250, 253, stop at 235. How do you know what the options pricing will be at those risk levels so we know how to size the position? You can do the math. Shall we do the math together? Here's how you do the math. Let's go to AMD from a couple weeks ago. Okay, from a couple weeks ago. And let me go into here. You said from a couple weeks ago. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, what's up, Nate? Nate the Great. Good to see you. All right. So let's say AMD's up here from a couple weeks ago, and we're saying, okay, we're gonna size in back at these positions. All right, cool. All right. So the way that you do that when it comes to options is, let's say that the high here is 267. And a couple weeks ago, we said the AMD calls. Here's how you do the math on that, right? Let's say you're doing AMD. Let's say you want the AMD January 16 AMD. Okay. The way you do it is you multiply by the delta. Now, it's going to be fluid, so it's not going to be perfect, but that's one way you can do it. So you're saying, let's say with support at 263 and levels all the way down to 243. Or if it's at 263, and let me get out my calculator so you guys can see this. Let's just say you're trading the January 250 calls and it pulls back to 235. So 248 minus 235 is 13. So you do 13 and then you times it by the delta. 250 is 54. 13 times 54 equals $7. Now, is that exact? No. Is it close? It's close, because as it drops more, the delta will change and it'll become less. But you can give it 10 cents of wiggle room, or 10% of wiggle room. I would say you could probably estimate it at, let's say, 750. Okay. But it's hard because theta is, based on time. If it got that low tomorrow, it'd be roughly 750. But if it got that low in 2 weeks, you'd have to take out theta and you have to take out delta. And you can never tell how long it's going to take. That's why you can't calculate it exactly. Okay, that's why. All right, let's see. The miner on Discord. How long should a total novice knowing nothing about options start with your 101 course to start trading options? Here's how you do it, right? If you're a total options novice, right? Number one, do my free options course. Number two, right? Do my course until you can pass all the tests. Number three, paper trade options until you get a good feel for it. Keep paper trading till you get comfortable with one strategy. Number five, start with one contract. That's how you ease into it. Okay. Steve says, when seeing a pop at the open and then a drop, do you sell into the pop or do you typically hold? How do you determine when it's a reset drop or a drop to go lower? Well, Steve, let me give you an example. This was Apple from a couple days ago. I think a reset pop tends to be one that typically finds support. Okay, so like let's look at Apple here, right? From Tuesday. Okay, now look at this. When you watch Apple, your question is, when seeing a pop at the open, this would constitute as a pop. First 20 minutes, pop. All right. Do you sell into the pop or do you typically hold? I'm assuming you're saying sell into the pop, assuming that I already have it, or else how can I sell into the pop? How do you determine when it's a reset drop or a drop to go lower? All right. I would say this. Let me put notes up. How to determine if it's a quote reset drop or drop to go lower, right? A couple things. One, I would say this. 34 EMA should hold. Or number two, I would say 50% retracement should hold, right? Or three, the where price originated from in the pop should hold. So for example, we look here and notice this. Price ran here. Let's just focus on this. It's Wednesday, Apple. What happened? Pop came back down. What held? VWAP held. What held? 8 EMA held. Pop from 272 back up to 275. Not bad. Came back down. VWAP held. Pop came back down. VWAP broke, but when you trace the move, here, did the 50% retracement hold? Yeah, look. Here's the bottom. Here's the top. 50% retracement. We just came back to 50. Hold. Bang. Back up we go. Okay. So generally, I'm looking for either one of the EMAs to hold in the ribbon. I'm looking for the 50% retracement to hold. But I want you to see this one from a couple days ago. Okay. Notice this. Here was a interesting occurrence. Same day, AMD. Did we get a pop at the open? Yes. Notice this. Here we go. Open, pop. First candle. Boom. Sideways. Boom. AMD moved from 241 to 246. Not too shabby. And then what happened? Price came back down and it broke. Notice this. Broke where this originated from. Came back and retested it, failed, and then dropped hard. So those are your three levels, right? It's either EMA, one of the EMAs, 34 ideally, 50% retracement level, or where price originated from. If it breaks below all those, typically it's a pullback deeper. Okay, I got about 8 minutes left. Let's see. Yeah. I will answer more next time. Let's wrap it up. I got one more question from Kai on Discord. I'd like to ask Ben on his thoughts on anchored VWAP. I've come to really like it for my swings. I love anchored VWAPs. Okay. I love it. So anchor VWAP. Here we go. Do I like anchored VWAP? Yes. I like to anchor the VWAP to start of the month, start of the quarter, or a big announcement / move. Okay. So you can find anchored VWAPs online. And then add it to your chart. And I love that. Look for it to be support resistance. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yes. Good call. Love me an anchor VWAP. Last question. Hey, how can I play long-term options in my IRA? Is it worth it? You apply for options approval in your IRA. It should be a self-directed IRA. Do I use that? Absolutely. Is it worth it? I think so. I think so. If you know how to use longer term swings, like for me, where I have Amazon 260 calls out into May of next year, yeah, that's in my self-directed IRA. Yep. Okay, friends, we've handled 14 questions. I hope I've been able to handle most of them. Guardian, I will get to your question at some point about the profit loss there with an option. But friends, as you can tell, I'm kind of running out of my voice. Been fun to be with you guys for our first Ask Me Anything session. We'll do more of these in the future. And like I said, I hope this is helpful for you. So let me stop sharing here. That'll be the end of our time. Again, hope it was valuable. Hope you enjoyed it. It has been recorded. And we're going to call this one a wrap, my friends. We'll do another one next month. And we'll probably do another YouTube live session, maybe in a couple weeks. I like to do that, to do reviews. Hey, what was a good trade that was a winner? Hey, what was a trade that was a loser? And what's there to be learned? And then kind of the big lesson, big macro picture for the month. That'll be what we do. All right, friends, appreciate you guys. Be good. Be good to others. Thanks for coming to join. And I will look forward to the next time we get to be together here on YouTube Live. Until then, like I said, be good to yourself if you can. Be good to somebody else. We'll see you.